In this video, we're going to look at how to solve a system of equations using matrices. And we're just going to focus on what's called the augmented matrix, and then we're going to focus on how do we solve that using technology. And I'm going to show you how to use the Desmos matrix calculator to solve it. So when we solve a system of equations, we've got to have a system. So this is going to have two equations and two unknown variables. Our goal is to figure out what x and y are from this system. So we're going to write this as an augmented matrix. And what that means is we're taking all this information and we're going to put it into this one giant matrix. This is where the equals would live. Okay, so when we solve this, we have to have all the variables on one side. Notice I've got my x's lined up and I've got my y's lined up, and then we have to have numbers on the other side. So when I write this, I'm going to think about this as an x column. I'm going to think about this as a y column. Here's where the equals is, and then there's where my numbers would live. So that first line is 5x minus 4y is equal to 6. So 5x minus 4y is equal to 6. And that second line is 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. So 2x, 3y is equal to 9. So there's my augmented matrix. Now, we could go backwards from this. We would read this if I wanted to turn this back into a system of equations. We would read this as 5x minus 4y is equal to 6. 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. So we can go back and forth between this form and this form. So the question is, how do we solve it? And we can solve this using technology. Now, what's happening behind the scenes is some elimination is going on, but I'm not interested in that at this point. I'm just interested in, do you know how to solve this using technology? Because we talked about elimination in another video. So when I solve this, I've got to pull up Desmos calculator, but first we got to figure out how big is this matrix? We talk about how many rows it has by how many columns it has. So rows are going to go this way. So I have 2 rows, and columns are going to go this way. And I have 3 columns. So we call this a 2 by 3 matrix. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to type in Desmos matrix calculator. And I'm going to create a new matrix. Okay, I need 2 rows and 3 columns, so I'm going to take this to 3, and I'm just going to type in what my matrix was. So 5, negative 4, 6, 2, 3, 9. Five, negative 4, 6, 2, 3, 9. So there's my matrix. So now we're going to do RREF of that matrix. Oh, let's see. I can do that. And so when I do RREF, I'm going to get these decimals. Okay. I'm going to turn it into fractions by hitting that fraction button. So this is my RREF matrix. This is going to be, I call this the solution matrix. So let's go back to our notes. So when we write this out, we've got 1, 0, 54 over 23, and then 0, 1, 33 over 23. So how would we read this? How would we interpret this? Well, remember, this is the x column, this is the y column. This line represents the equals, and these are just numbers. So this would say 1x plus 0y is equal to 54 over 23, which is the same thing as saying x is equal to 54 over 23. And then this last one says 0x plus 1y is equal to 33 over 23. which is the same thing as saying y equals 33 over 23. So what's nice about using the technology here is that we can go from just our coefficients and numbers for our system to the solution of the system. Okay, now we would get the same solution if we did substitution or elimination on this. Okay, so but augmented matrix, solution matrix, answers. Let's do another one. Okay, this one has 3 equations and 3 unknowns, but it's not quite written in the form we need it to be in. We need all the numbers to be on one side. So we've got to do some rewriting here. So I'm going to have to move this one over. So we're going to have x minus y minus z is equal to a -1. Okay, so now that's in proper form. I've got variables on the left, numbers on the right. Same thing here. I'm going to have to move this guy over. So 2x minus 3y plus z is equal to 9 minus 5, which is 4. And I'm going to have to move the 6 over. So 7x minus 3y plus 7z is equal to 7. So when we create this augmented matrix, we have 3 equations. So that's going to be 3 rows. And then we're going to have 4 columns. So this is going to be a 3 by 4 matrix. There's my equals. We have x's, y's, z's, and the numbers. So we have 1x minus 1y minus 1z is equal to -1. So there's my first line. Second line would be 2, -3, 1, 4. And then 7, -3, 7, 7. Okay, it's just literally those coefficients. The important thing is to make sure the x's are lined up, the y's are lined up, and the z's are lined up. So now we're going to go to the Desmos calculator and clear everything. New matrix. This has 3 rows and 4 columns. And we're going to type in all of our entries. I hit enter. So there's my matrix. It's stored as matrix A. And I want to do RREF. So I'm going to use my RREF down here of matrix A. And it's going to give it to me. I want fractions. I always want exact answers. And there's my fractions. So I'm going to go back here. So this is the augmented matrix. When I do RREF, that's where I get my solution matrix. So I get 1, 0, 0, -15 over 13, 0, 1, 0, -21 over 13, and 0, 0, 1, 19 over 13. So this says x plus 0y plus 0z, which is x, is equal to -15 over 13. This line would say 0x plus y plus 0z is equal to -21 over 13. And this would say 0x plus 0y plus z is equal to 19 over 13. So I've got augmented matrix. This is my solution matrix. And this is my answer. Let's do one more with a missing variable. Let's say we had something like this. We're going to start by writing the augmented matrix. Now, you've got to be careful here. Notice we've got a missing variable. So we could actually write this as 3x plus 0y is equal to 15. So here's my two equations. That's two rows. I have an x column, a y column, and a number column. That's going to give me three columns. So I have 1, 3, 12 coming from this. And then I have 3, 0, 15 coming from that. And then we can do RREF. I'm going to clear this out. Two rows, three columns. Hit enter. So there's my matrix A. And do RREF of A. And I'm going to get 5 7/3 for my answer. So we know x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7/3. So augmented matrix, solution matrix, and the answer. And that's how you would take a system of equations, turn it into a matrix, an augmented matrix, use technology to turn it into RREF and find the solution.